It's the last day of July 2024. My wife tells me Alan has a birthday tomorrow. Can I go into the workshop and knock something up for him as a present? I love her confidence in me. And what great timing, because I've just received a load of wood, including these beds from Dorothy House Charity here in the UK. That's not a great start to a project, is it? So I'm going to have a workshop tidy up, but this is the plank of oak that I want to use. I have a tidy up of these are all things that I'm going to hang up on the wall. These are slabs that I was going to make a kitchen unit out of, glued up planks. Not going to do that now though. And what I'm looking for here is an old piece of melamine from Dorothy House, the charity. And sometimes you take the good wood, sometimes you take the bad wood. This I'm going to make into a router table, and definitely two boards and something over there. Don't know what we're doing there, but we're going to get two cheese boards out of this. It's like a charcuterie or a chopping board, but it's thinner and therefore won't have finger handles or finger holes. And the reason for that is because this board is really warped, and I want to take a lot off the top and a lot off the bottom. So router table sled, screw some holes. This is a pallet strider, I think they're called, or stingers sometimes they're called. They're not the slats, it's the bits that go vertically across them. And I drill some holes in them, offer them up to the melamine, screw them into place, and then all we got to do is make sure that your new router sled, which I built on the 14th of July, you'll see that written all over the sled. And I built the sled because my DW733 DeWalt planer died. So I put a shim here to hold the oak slab into place. And then you've seen how a router sled works, I'm sure. If not, go on YouTube and find out. This is my version, made on melamine. It means that my hand router slides easy through and through, but also it means that this big hole here I can see through. The overview here is not as good, but when I'm looking down this slot, I can see the wood I'm about to remove, how much I'm about to remove, and I think that's really good. So giving you a little bit of arty-farty from the back and from above view, and I find this quite therapeutic, you know, up and down, up and down, up and down. Those of you who are on Instagram will know that the router bit is the important bit. I had a really bad one from Temu and it broke. Placed it with a carbide tip and it was fantastic. Twice as quick, three times as quick. Really good. Here we go. Look, you can see here in the gap there, in that slot, you can see the wood that you're about to trim off. Really good. You don't get too many of these lines. I'd love to know what people do with their sawdust. I'm sure people don't put it in a Take That, the Circus concert tour carrier bag, but that's what I do with my sawdust. Tidy up with the old vacuum cleaner. That's looking nice, isn't it? This is Spalted English Oak. Didn't buy it as Spalted English Oak. Got it given to me for a fiver, two planks that my brother paid for the shot glass trays that are on my website already. And this was a leftover plank. And you can see that's where I'm going to cut them up into two separate cheese boards. Bit of work to be done. Now, these are like shims. These will be on my pallet slat board at the back that I plan to do in 2025. But it just elevates it slightly and means that we can carry on with the same plank of wood, the same planer, the same router bit at exactly the same length, but I've elevated the plank up a bit and I can do the second half. Genius, that is. Absolute genius. Bear in mind I'm a 2-year woodworker. That's really quite clever. So it's the same old. Just run your router over and finish the job and then sand it down. So I started with originally here the orbital sander with 40 grit. It doesn't really make that much impact. Off camera, I had the belt sander set up and sanded that down over on the worktop behind you. I just thought this looked quite good. Other side, look at the spalting in that. Look at the colours. Can you imagine what that's going to look like when we put some finish on it and it pops, as they say on YouTube? That should be lovely. So sanding, 40 grit, 80 grit, 120, 200, 400. That's my usual pattern. This is the ugly end of it. Now, if you're a beginner woodworker and you see people talking about jigs and you dismiss them, like I did for the first 18 months, don't be an idiot. Make a jig. You can see I made this in February 2023. It's a straight edge jig for my circular saw. It allows me, I've measured the gap between my blade and the edge, which is 3 millimeters, 30 millimeters. And here you can see I just run that across. There you go. That's the ugly bit off. And we're left with a lengthy bit. Cut it in half. It's a little bit more difficult with, yeah, take it over there, mate. Away from the YouTube viewers. But it does mean you can do a good cut. And when we bring that back to the main bit, look at that. That's lovely. That's almost done. Sand the edges. Both boards at the same time here to save a bit of time. And then once we've finished sanding, we're ready to finish. So this is the 2 cheese boards that I've got. One will be given away as a birthday present tomorrow. The other will actually end up being really, really useful at the end of the year when we all get ill for serving a bowl of soup to somebody in the front room. Anyway, we've got a new branding iron here with Made by Shay on it, and we heat it up, use the old branding iron jig to put it in the exact spot, or just use a tape measure to put it exactly halfway on the back. Do that times 2, and then we're ready to put the finishing touch on. Now this is food safe wood butter from Leo, handicraft up in Liverpool. It's a fantastic product. Just one coat on it, pop it on, buff it off, job's a good un. It's ready to go, and it's food safe, perfect for a cheese board. Love the product, love the company, love the man. Well done, Leo. Bit of a close up here of the spaltingness. This is here sat on my cheap Temu pyramids, and what we got left to do, not a lot really. I don't think. I think it's just the beauty shot, and then we're done. Thanks for watching. Lovely. Hope you've enjoyed. See you again.